Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to Archimedes Station, to part 3 of the Mastering Peak Contest series. Today we're talking about Fullmetal. In the first video we talked about kind of the concept of the video, or concept of the new contest. Part 2 was more about Rogers, and part 3, I think, a good part 3. Fullmetal is absolutely essential to the new Peak Contest. Rogers and Fullmetal, you have to understand the matchup. And you have to use them both in order to win Peak Contests. So I'm going to get into really gemming Fullmetal and gearing, kind of. It's kind of obvious. He used the Walker Helm, or the new Walker Helm, the Wrath Helm, I forget what it's called, and then the Gift of the Valkyrie, or the Gift of the Valkyrie. And then for pants, really, I think just the Fearless pants. It's the only thing you should be wearing, because you still have to stand toe-to-toe against Rogers. And then for chest piece, you probably want to go with the Shadow. You could also go with the Walker one. What is it called? Invincible. You'll also see some of the higher level players using Body of Phoenix. You got to really level that thing up though to get the stats worth using, because it doesn't have high stats in general. And then yeah, double Titans for damage, and then gems. Gems is what we're going to be talking about today. Should you go double Leo Taurus or Leo Cassiopeia? If you don't have a third gem set, I was under the impression that it would be best to go Cassiopeia, but after recent discoveries and making it to rank 10, I'm actually quite confident that it's better to go with Taurus, because you get to really think about the matchup. So now that I'm ranked 10 and I've won a few senior level peak contests, I realize where my shortcomings are. So when I'm going against these big players, going against Rogers really isn't that bad. I can debuff Rogers' Tyrant Cometh and his defensive stack with Fullmetal. That's the whole point of Fullmetal, because you can't beat Rogers unless you have an equal Reinhardt, and even then it's not a fair fight. You have to have a good Fullmetal, and you have to be able to land hits on Rogers. So Leo lets you ignore defense, plus the damage you get from the tear space. So your combo of Leo and tear space is your real damage dealer. Now you can add things in, you can add in Cassiopeia to make yourself go immune, which gives you bonus stats and a little more damage reduction on the 3-piece set for Cassiopeia. But remember, Cassiopeia only makes you immune to debuffs. It doesn't work on the first round against Gilly. So Gilly's still going to debuff your guaranteed hit. And then Cassiopeia may trigger, which is going to stop Bullet and Stella from making you lose accuracy. It's going to stop Elf from cursing you. But every other matchup is going to mess you up. So since you're going to be struggling with accuracy in the first place, and landing hits is so important for Fullmetal, that I think it's better now to use Taurus. I'm going to show a replay to prove that, but I just want to remind everyone what Fullmetal's skills do. His 60% skill reduces enemy buffs and lowers their dodge and crit. So it increases your accuracy, lowers their crit, reduces and removes their defensive abilities, removes their buffs. And then the first skill is basically the Infantry Awakening. And then the Awakening is just a Walker Awakening. So he doesn't really get bonus damage from his skills. He's just debuffing his opponent, which usually is a crappy strategy. So you've got to rely on your gems. So I was using Cassiopeia. I switched back to Leo and Taurus. And here's why. My matchup concerns is Rogers. It doesn't take me much to beat a Rogers. Honestly, they don't even dodge that much. So between my second skill and my Leo gem, I was just crushing through Rogers no problem. Rogers is much bigger than me, and I already had a big Fullmetal. But I was noticing my shortcomings were, after I'd beat a Rogers, I'd run into someone like a Bullet, who I should dominate in a fair fight, right? Bullet's more of ignore tier suppression. It's not a toe-to-toe commander. But what I realized is that because the majority of my damage is coming from tear space, I had to land hits. And if I only had a 20% guaranteed hit gems, I would go against, let's say, Outlaw's Bullet, for example, and he would have a little bit of accuracy, and he didn't even have guaranteed hit gems, but he was landing those hits consistently, and the tear space damage is so high, he crushed right through me. Even though I had so much damage reduction, it wasn't enough. So I'm going to show you guys this matchup, which made me come to the conclusion that I will one day get 5-piece Cassiopeia, but not until I get those gem sets. I've got to have the guaranteed hit. 20% just isn't enough for Fullmetal, because he can be dodged and punished quickly, because you're not getting all the benefits of research, so the troops aren't as durable in peak contests. So here's Outlaw's Bullet. He doesn't have any 4-piece sets. He's basically just like an accuracy bullet for ignore tier suppression. He does have a little bit of resistance weakened, which increases his, lowers my chance to dodge against him, right? I have a little bit of dodge, right? But here's the matchup. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward it all the way to here. And what you're going to see is basically it's a fair fight. 1335 versus 800, right? So he's a little bit bigger than me, right? A little bit larger leadership. But let's go back right there. Okay. So it starts off pretty fair fight. Like, I do have tier 11 in the back. That's a bit of a weakness, all right? That's bad for me, especially in this matchup. Not having tier space sucks. You know, I was only doing that kind of as an experiment. This was like one of my original replays. But I ran into this bullet thinking I would just crush him. It's Walker versus Infantry. But Particle goes off. I lose some accuracy. Okay, so I need some Cassiopeia to trigger so that it gets rid of that. But instead I trigger Leo, but I'm already softened up, right? It doesn't hit as hard as I want. That tear space isn't as hard as I want, right? He hits again. Good damage, tear space. I'm getting crushed right now in the first round. I've lost over half my troops in those slots, and it's still the first round, right? Not good. Not good at all. My awakening damage isn't very high. Maybe penetration might help with that. I don't know. There's a ghost cannon followed by a regular hit followed by a tear space. Look at my front row. I'm under half. I started with 800. Okay? And I'm missing these hits. I think I land 2 or 3 hits out of 6. And by the time, look, I'm already dead. I already lost my first slot. So as amazing as Fullmetal can be against Rogers, he is absolutely terrible against everyone else if he doesn't land hits. And none of this time did my Cassiopeia trigger to get my accuracy back to land those hits. So miss. And by the time my second round came around to hopefully redeem myself, it was too late. The round was over, and I lost to a bullet. One of the worst toe-to-toe PvP commanders in the game against somebody who's a reasonable PvP commander in the game. So I just thought I'd point that out because after the Rogers fight is over in Peak, you still want to be able to win that fight against other commanders. And really the value for Cassiopeia wasn't making me much better against Rogers, and it wasn't doing enough against the opponents I needed to worry about. So that's my opinion. I think Leo's a must-have, and I think after that, Taurus is the next logical solution. You can make a case for like Virgo, but I think the problem with Virgo is it's going to be reducing your opponent's attack damage, but not their tear space damage. So making them go last is nice. They're still going to get hit really hard. It's okay, not great, and it doesn't really help against the matchups you're mostly concerned about, you know. I think the most important thing to take away from this is if you want to do damage in the Peak contest and you want to hit hard, you got to land the hits. And even high-level players are going to put a little bit of dodge on just to try to get that edge. So run the double hit gems. You won't regret it. You're going to start winning more. And if I missed anything, put it in the comments below. And then we'll start talking about what to do on episode 4 of Mastering the Peak contest series. I'm thinking Vega and Gilly just because of how dominant they are. Let me know what you think in the comments below. All right, thanks for watching. My name is Melt. We will see you tomorrow. August is recruitment month. We have officially launched Patreon. Thank you everyone who's already started getting behind the channel and pushing it so that I can start making this bigger, wider community as a whole. And this is your invitation, everyone who has been sandbagging and waiting. In August, we are going to push a membership drive to get this community nice, big, and wide. Now, I don't want to incentivize people to join the channel simply for Ark of War merch, gear, and stuff like that. But I get it. A lot of people think this is a massive community. It's not. I know everyone by name. You can literally message me online. We have a channel for all the paid promoters of this channel. And if you want to get behind this channel and help me push this thing big and wide, there's a way to do it. $15 a month, less than Netflix. You get a mug for signing up. One-time bonus. You get your sweet own individual mug while supplies last. I got, I think, 100 left or so. You also get a sign-up bonus for that month if there is one. And if I implement a sign-up bonus, if you're a patron and there is a sign-up bonus, let's say for September, if you're already a patron, you will get the existing gift. So last month was the Patron Saint Kid gift that you can put on your fridge so you can pray to before you make a Titan. We also implemented we also had some door hangers made. This is the Vega one. Didn't come out right, so I'm sending those out with everyone until I run out of them. But then August is the Gilly door hanger. Now you might think this is transparent or white. It's not. It's green. It's chroma keyed, so you can't see it. The back says "Gaming Do Not Disturb." The front has a picture of Gilly. They're not for sale. They're only for patron sign-up gifts, you know, and it's just for getting behind the channel and supporting it. I appreciate everyone that helps push this thing. Tell your friends, tell your family. We've got goals. No, don't tell your family. Don't tell anyone you play this game except the other players that play it. Join us all online and YouTube. We have a 95 patron goal. If we hit 95 patrons, whether it's this month, next month, or never, hopefully not never, I had these posters made. An 11 by 17. So they're not too big. They're like, big enough for a wall, but not, ridiculous. And once we hit 95, all of the patrons that month, I'm sending out the posters to all of them. Signed, delivered to your doorstep, as well as your other patron gifts if they're signups that month. Just for saying thank you. And over time, I've got ideas for this channel. And I've been doing this for over a year now. I've kind of got a little goodwill built up, a little good faith that I'm a goer. I just need senders. And I've been funding this thing on my own for a long time. I opened the doors to let people help me fund it. And we've been kind of toying with the idea of Patreon. We kind of did the pre-release, and now we're ready to fully launch it. So this is my invitation to you all. If you've been waiting, now's the time. Join Patreon, join the rest of the community, and help me push this thing into a memorable piece of history, right? I don't want to look back on this and say, what could have been? So get on board, help me push this thing, help the rest of the community. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. So check the link in the description below if you want to get on board. And we'll talk to you soon. In fact, you don't even have to click on the description below. There's a little mug popping up right at the end of this video. Click it. Click the mug. That'll take you to Patreon, let you take a look at what we're doing here.